Welcome back, everybody. I'm so glad you're joining me again today. So we are going to do functions and relationships today. The topic for today then is input and output values using flow diagrams, tables, and formula. Okay, so what is a number sentence? A function in mathematics is the relationship between a set of input numbers and its corresponding output values. So there we've got our input numbers, then we've got a function in the middle, and that will then give us an output. So we use number sentences, tables, and flow diagrams to describe the relationship between these numbers. So this is an example. Our input is 10. Our function is y equals 3x, and our output is 30. So our x is going to be our input, and our y is our output. So y then equals 3 times x. So that means 3 times 10 will give us 30. So that describes the function, that one, describes the relationship between the input that's 10 and the output that's 30. Okay, so before we continue with these number sentences, I want you to just get a fay with this concept of number sentences. So there's a value missing in these number sentences, and the value that's missing, whenever there's a value missing, I've got like a block. Okay, so let's work this one. Let's work with this through this with me. 3 times a block equals minus 24. So remember, we want to find out the value that is in that block. So we must get the block separate. So in order to get rid of the 3, we're going to divide the 3 on this side. But remember, what we do on this side, we must do on the other side. So if we say 3 divided by 3, which will give us 1, equals then minus 24 divided by 3. Remember, we've got to do it on both sides. Therefore, if we divide minus 24 divided by 3, we get minus 8. So the value of this block is minus 8. Okay, so if we want to check our answer, 3 times minus 8 equals minus 24, and that is correct. Okay, let's do the next example. Something divided by 4 plus 12 equals minus 8. So now again, we want to get rid of everything on this side because we want the block on its own. So first we're going to say plus 12 minus 12, and what we do on this side, we do on that side. So we've got minus 8 minus 12, which will give us minus 20. Now we still have the divide by 4. So to get rid of this, we're going to multiply it by 4. What we do this side, we do this side. So therefore, our value in the block equals minus 80. Minus 20 times 4 is minus 80, and we've got our block separate. Okay. So if you want to check your answer, you're going to say minus 80 divide by 4 will give you 20 plus 12 will give you minus 8. Now answer is correct. Cool. Now I'm going to give you a chance to do this. Remember, we tried to get the block on its own to find the value of that block. So please pause, do this, and then you check your answers later. Right. So in order to get this block on its own, remember it's a minus. So you can do different things but it's easier perhaps to move this block to that side because then it would be a plus, right? So you can do it different ways, but you can say minus the block plus the block equals minus 225 plus the block, right? Now in order to get the minus 25 to that side, we're going to say minus 225 plus 225 plus this block is going to give us 1172 plus 225, right? So here we've got the value, the block, then equals 1,397. And if you want to check your answer, you're going to see that 1172 minus 1397 will give you minus 225. Cool. So 56 divided by something plus 3 will give us minus 4. So let's start by getting the 3 to the other side. So it's 56 divided by the block plus 3 minus 3 equals minus 4 minus 3, right? So we can make sure that we don't skip it. So we're going to say this is what we end up with, equals minus 7. So, but we want the block on its own. So perhaps what we can do is we can say 56 divided by the block times the block equals minus 7 times the block, right? So we've got 7 minus 7 block divided by minus 7 equals 56 divided by minus 7. So here we've got our block equals minus 8. Right, and if you want to check your answer, you go 56 divided by minus 8, put it in a parenthesis, put it in brackets that you don't get confused, plus 3 equals minus 4. And you can work this out and check your answer and see if we are correct. Cool. Right. Now, another few examples. 113.8 plus something will give us 4. Okay, so what are we going to do? We're going to say this something equals 4 minus 113.8, because we're going to say 113.8 minus 113.8 plus the block, right? So that's why what we do this side, we do that side. So the block then will be 4 minus 113.8. So it's going to be minus 109.8. So you can always then check your answer by putting this minus in the block and see if you get 4. Right, 2/3 times something equals minus 1. So what are we going to do? We want to get rid of the 2/3 on the side. So it's easy. 2/3 times 3/2 times the block equals minus 1 times 3/2. Am I correct? So a block equals minus 3/2. So remember, if you want to get rid of it this side, we just, instead of dividing, we just times it by the reverse. And then this one is interesting. I wonder whether you managed to get this one. Something to its square minus 50 equals minus 1. So first we want to get the square, block square separate. So it's minus 50 plus 50 equals minus 1 plus 50, and that will give us 49. Now, something square equals 49. And remember your multiplication charts when we did square numbers? They run diagonally from the left top to the bottom right. And what is the square? What is 49 the square of? 7 to the power of 2. So our answer will be 7. Well done if you've got that one correct. Cool. Now, number variables. In algebra, we don't use these blocks or a heart or a star like we've just done. In algebra, we use letters to represent numbers to help us to solve problems. And we call these letters variables because they stand for an unknown number. Like these blocks, they stood for a number that we still had to work out. But it's much easier to work with a letter of the alphabet. So look at this example. Determine the value of x in the following. So they go 16 plus x equals 9. So x equals minus 7. How do we work this one out? Because we say 16 plus x equals 9. So to get the x on its own, we say 16 minus 16 plus x equals 9 minus 16, and that will give us minus 7. Okay, same here. X minus 14 equals minus 22. So x is minus 8. How did we work that one out? So x minus 14 plus 14 equals minus 22 plus 14, and that gives us minus 8. Right. So are you ready to try some? Now we get into the real fun stuff. Find the value of x if 5 plus x is minus 36. So pause, do this, and then I see you at the others after you've done this. Okay, let's see, how did you do? 5 plus x equals minus 36. So we have to get rid of the 5. Plus x equals minus 36 minus 5. So x equals minus 41. Congratulations if you've got that one right. The next one, x plus 1,345 equals minus 2,605. So we want the x on its own. So we're going to say x plus 1,345 minus 1,345 equals minus 2,605 minus 1,345. So now you can remember it's minus minus, so we mustn't make a mistake. So we can add this up, and it's going to give us minus 3,950 for x. So you can check my answer later to make sure that I was correct. Okay. The next one, 46.14 minus 2x equals 66.14. So it's just in decimal fractions. It's the same thing. So we're not going to be scared of this, right? So we're going to say 46.14 minus 46.14 minus 2x equals 66.14 minus 46.14. And so minus 2x equals 20. Right. So to get the x on its own, we're going to divide it by minus 2. And we're going to divide 20 by minus 2. So our answer for x is minus 10. Who's got this one correct? Well done. And if you didn't, please pause and go over this. It's just minuses and decimal fractions, but the concepts are very easy. Let's do this last one. Minus 5x equals 212.5. So we're going to divide minus 5 on this side. We're going to divide minus 5 on this side. So x equals minus 42.5. Okay, I hope you got this one correct. Right. So what then if there's more than one variable? In the expression, for example, p equals n plus 3. Now we've got two variables, p and n. They are both variables. But but we can only find the value of one variable if we know what the value of the other variable is, right? So they must give us the value of the one variable. This means we can find the value of p if we substitute n with a number in that little formula, okay? So say if p equals n plus 3, we can determine p if n is substituted by minus 3. So then we say p equals minus 3 plus 3, therefore p equals 0. Another example, that same formula, if n is 7, then p is 7 plus 3, and p equals 10. Right, so if there's two variables, we need the value of at least one of them to work out the other one. So now we're going to try this. Okay, so if y equals x minus 6, determine the value of y if x equals to minus 4. So that's easy. We're just going to say x is minus 4 minus 6. So that means y equals minus 10. And the next one, y equals x plus 10.5, and x is 3.5. So we're going to just say 3.5 plus 10.5, so y equals 14. And if p equals 2n minus 6, what is the value of p if n is minus 8? So we're going to say 2 minus 8 minus 6. That gives us minus 16 minus 6. It gives us minus 22. Okay, right. I really hope you enjoyed this, and then I'll see you next time.